Welcome back. Here we are in the cruise in this CRJ 700 heading to Memphis from Chicago in this first fully loaded CRJ video. You notice we're 59 miles out from PXV, which is really the end of the flight. I haven't set in the star on the arrival yet. We are expecting runway 36 right in Memphis. That could change, but let's go ahead and set everything up now for the approach. So, see, there's the end of the course that we have. So Memphis arrival. We're expecting ILS 36 right, which is that one. Bluz 1 approach. Our transition is from PXV there, and we're expecting vectors. With all that done, click on execute. Now we'll check on the legs page. PXV, then discontinuity PXV. So we'll bring this PXV up to here and execute. Now we have the full star on the approach to runway 36 right. I suspect the ATC is going to get involved and stop us following that route. That's just fine, but it's in there, which is very important. We're still struggling with the wind up here as well, getting blown off course, and that speed. Look, 745, so easing up on the power just a touch to bring that back down to 7.4. I had to actually get back up to Mach 0.74. I actually engaged climb power for a little while to bring the speed up. The wind has been so tricky. Looking at the EFB right now, for example, you can see that it's really shifted now to almost equal behind us and to the right of us, which is causing some issues, but we're doing okay. ATC haven't complained yet, so I guess we're alright. You can see we're getting lined up on the nav course here, there. So now the aircraft will start to adjust and try to get us back on track. Again, I could use the turbulence button to make the inputs that you're seeing, those changes in pitch and roll, be less dramatic and keep the passengers in the back comfortable. Speed drop, 738, feeding back in the power now. Really is a very hands-on aircraft. More power, almost climb power there. Let's come off climb. There we go, 37, 737, 738. And 740. So again, off the power. Just juggling the power now all the way through the cruise. Let's give you a little glamour shot. Still about 20 minutes out from top of descent. According to the flight plan, we may be descended earlier than that. I noticed that the default ATC likes to do that from time to time. There's another aircraft there, by the way. We did pass an Airbus a little while back. It went below us, 3,000 feet below us, and pretty much straight underneath us. There's a speech called What Goes Up Might Come Down by Peter Gunnison that you should find on YouTube. Hang on. Oh, we have more aircraft. See it? Yeah, I have them in sight. Oops. There he is. See that? That line, that streak. There's a speech by Peter Gunnison, or David Gunnison, maybe David Gunnison, called What Goes Up Might Come Down, where he talks about being an air traffic controller and says the chances of two aircraft being at the same height, in the same place, at exactly the same time is so infinitesimally small as to not even be worth considering. So, to justify the job of air traffic controllers, they invent these corridors that are 5 miles wide and 5 miles high and force all the aircraft down the same space, thereby greatly increasing the chances of a smash and thereby increasing the need for an air traffic controller. Nowhere is that more evident than what just happened, with an aircraft actually going head-on with us but 3,000 feet below us. Had air traffic control not been involved and he'd just been there on his own accord, that could have been nasty. Let's take a look, see if we can see him. No. He should be off to the right. There he is. Pretty awesome. About to enter the approach now. You see PXV here, coming up, which is the start of the star. Not long to go. In fact, the EFB is telling us 38 minutes to landing, 20 minutes to top of descent, so a fairly short descent, even from 38,000 feet. Now, descending in this is tricky, as I indicated in the last video, and the reason for that is you don't have an auto throttle. So, one technique is to put it in speed hold, set a new altitude using the altimeter altitude hold knob over here, and just kill the throttle. That will cause the aircraft to nose down and pick up speed to try to match the required speed. A better approach is actually to use vertical speed. So what we'll do when we hit top of descent and we're given an altitude is we'll set a vertical speed of minus 2,500 feet per minute. So we'll be descending at 2,500 feet per minute. I will then adjust the throttles to try to hold Mach 0.74 all the way down. That's not us. In that way, we actually end up with a fairly stable approach. We're not guessing where the throttle should be to maintain the flight profile, the descent profile that we want. And it's actually a lot better for people in the back as well. So vertical speed to pitch on over to 2,500 feet per minute rate of descent, and then adjust the power to hold Mach 0.74. A lot less guesswork involved in doing it that way. We also don't run the risk there of arriving at our required altitude about 10 minutes too early. Or even 10 minutes too late, which would be significantly worse. And there it is. The FB just switched. We're in arrival mode now. We're actually flying the Star. Now normally it's difficult to fly a Star with default ATC, but if you're using something like Avlasoft DFB that actually manually sets the route into the sim, then you do get some compliance. It's not perfect, it's not anything like using radar contact, but I couldn't get my radar contact installed to work with prepared version 4 in time for this video. So we will be flying the start of the Star properly, and ATC is quite happy with that. As we get closer to Memphis though, they usually take over and start vectoring us, which is again just fine. And not unusual really, given that there's so much air traffic here, as you can see on the EFB, and it's going to increase as we get closer to Memphis. Notice now that we're getting closer to Memphis, you see Global Express, you'll start to see FedEx and stuff like that, because of course Memphis is a FedEx hub. Ah! I am gravely mistaken. I thought there was no top of descent marker in this, but there actually is. Look, top of descent marker just came in here. At or above 24,000 feet, 290 on the speed, maximum, top of descent. I completely missed that in previous flights, so I know some of you have already been frantically typing comments saying, Frugal, you're wrong. I know I'm wrong. I can see it right there. I've not seen that on previous flights. I am shocked as to why that's there. I can only guess that's there because of what I've just did with the Avlasoft DFB, that it kind of fed that in. Very, very interesting. So there is a top of descent marker. Huh. Who knew? Descend. 320. Acknowledge. Alright, this is how we're going to do this. So, we're going to change our view here. We're going to set the altitude down to 320, vertical speed. I have the traffic. I actually don't, but that's fine. Down to 3,200. And we want to descend at 2,500 feet per minute. You see we're dialing it in here, and we want to maintain Mach 0.74. So now I'm pulling back the throttle quite severely to try to maintain that. And they want us to expedite. Well, we are expediting. We're down now. 2.2. There's our speed. It's dropping. That's how we're going to do this. And then we're going to try to stabilize the throttles for that descent. We're increasing power now because we are slowing too much. Watching the magenta bar on the speed line here. So it shows we're increasing speed, which is what we want. Up to about Mach 0.74, 2,500 feet per minute rate of descent. Now we could be a little aggressive here, coming off the power, because we are picking up speed quite a lot, and increase to 2,800. There. Let's see how that fares. And again, coming off the power now, trying to get us down to Mach 0.74. And if we can hold Mach 0.74, what we're going to see is the speed tape will start to increase as we get lower. Once it gets up to 290, we'll come off Mach hold and go into speed instead. Really coming off the power now. That speed is picking up. This is a better way of descending than just kill the throttle and see what happens. Seven 4-6, 745.
American 5480, you are 68 miles northeast, turn left, heading 180, descend and maintain flight level 360, expect vectors ILS, runway 36, right approach.
Runway 36, right approach. And it wants us to turn left to a heading 205, so we'll go heading hold. Turn left 205, we'll acknowledge. And we're no longer in the star, now we're following their vectors. Increasing the power. We've leveled off now. So again, increasing the power, trying to get us back up to Mach 0.74. Should have been on that a lot sooner. Descend and maintain flight level 220. So again, back down here. Dial this down to 220, vertical speed minus 2800. We'll start at 220. There we go, and then down to 2800. Speed's coming up. Off the gas. A lot. Try to really... 180, I'm sorry, I thought it was 205. I completely screwed up. There we go. Back on the gas. Lots to do, right? Watching that speed as well. Once we hit 290, we're going to come out of Mach hold and go into speed hold. Or IIS hold, I should say. And there's 280 knots. Off the power now, speed is picking up. Really being all over the thrust right now. Need to acknowledge that hand up. Watching my speed there. So we don't have to do anything with the MCDU. We did expect 36 right, and that's what we got. Two 205.
Right heading 205. American 5480. American 5480. Turn right heading 235.
235, okay.
Right heading 235. American 5480. American 5480. Contact Memphis Center on 134.65. 134.65. 4 miles.
I had 25,000 instead of 22,000. Okay. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm all over it. Okay, so we're coming up on 290 now, so we'll go speed hold. There we go, 290. There we go. More power. Try to get that speed. Oh, it is good. The speed is actually good now. We're on 290, which is what we want. We'll be holding that now, not the Mach. So we're not reading this number anymore. We're reading this number. Altitude capture, 22,000. If we look at the EFB, you can see where we are. It's actually vectored us off the star a little bit. We're going to go around the airport to the south and then come in and land straight in, probably.
American 5480. Descend and maintain 12,000.
12,000. So vertical speed once again. Down we go. One 2000. There we go. Watch the speed. It's dropping. A bit more power. Try to bring the speed back up to 290. Which is about there. See, now what we could do if we wanted, I might actually do it just to show you. I have this pretty much stable, 2,700 feet, bit of turbulence is causing the speed to vary. But what we can do now is we can actually go into speed hold. So we'll come out of vertical speed and go to speed hold, and where the power is set should be great for a descent at 290. Just going to reduce the speed. We're at 292. There we go. Perfect. So we're not wildly bumping around 3,000 and 4,000 feet per minute. It's pretty good. Let's check the radios. We need to turn off auto tune, and we'll go over to the EFB as well. Look at the approach. So the approach, ILS runway 36 right, 111.35. So radios turn off automatic, 111.35. That's what we want on nav 1. It's not going to show anything in the PFD until we get a lot closer, but that's all set up ready to go. All we need to do is, once we get established, is set the appropriate course, which is 359. Let's check how we're doing here. So we've eased up on our rate of descent. So to improve that now, I'll just reduce the throttle, and that rate of descent will increase. There we go, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. And really now I can play with the rate of descent using my throttle levers. But we're not, again, bouncing the aircraft through the air and really upsetting all the people in the back. Let's go back over to the EFB and see where we're at in relation to the airport. We're there. The airport is here. We are here. So it really is going to vector us around here. Pretty neat the way it's doing it. Keeping a close eye here on vertical speed. We're a little bit under what I want. Localizer just lit up. So let's adjust the course on the localizer to 359. Since we're in heading hold, we can do that. Just pop on down here, nav source, localizer, and we'll adjust the course to 359, which is there. And over again, Memphis Center. So our localizer's set up now, we're good to land. Just come off the power a little bit. Altimeter 3008, turn left 5175. Which is our downwind leg. Now we got the altimeter, so we can come out of standard mode now. Click on standard, and we'll set the altimeter there. 128.5. Now watch the speed. As we level off, it's going to increase. Or sorry, decrease. Oh, I'm getting the radio bounce around here. Feeding in the power. Trying to get us back up to 290. Oh, I still can't talk to ATC. Very busy airport. There, got it.
American 5480, turn right heading 235. American 5480, turn right heading 235.
235 and descend to 6,000. So again, we'll change the view here. We'll get rid of the radio. Drop on down. And we're going to reduce the altitude to 6,000. We'll go vertical speed once again at 2,500. Now this time, as we pass through 10,000, we want that speed down under 250.
American 5480. Contact Memphis approach on 125.8. Going
125.8.
5.8. American 5480.
So really coming off the power now. Try to bring the speed down as we pass through 11,000 feet.
American
And deal with the radios.
descent 11,100. Descending 6,000. American 5.
Pretty much going idle on the power.
Approach, roger. Altimeter 3009er. American 5480. Turn right heading 240.
Turn right heading 240.
240.
There we go.
American 5480.
So idle power now. We are a little bit too fast. So we're going to go speed hold. Speed hold. Please go speed hold. And down to 250. We're leveling off. Whoa. All over the place here. There. 250. Now I should be able to go speed hold. Why are you not working? Oh, because I have the wrong altitude set. My problem. Sorry about that, lady. Down to 6,000. Need to increase that speed back up to about 240 now. There we are. So speed's coming up. We have the throttles very much idle or near idle. Watch that vertical rate of descent. 2,500, 2,600. So feeding in the power now. We don't want to just plummet. But we did descend late because I was a little bit too busy clicking knobs and trying to talk to you guys. 270. That's our base. Now we are under 10,000 feet. Lights on. And we need to start running some checklists as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's get rid of this display. Landing elevation is set. Fuel is set. Altimeter is set. TCAS and radar and everything else is set. We're good. Let's look at the 10,000 check. Yep, APU and bleeds are just fine. Nothing changes there. We might as well turn the passenger signs, though, to just permanently on. There. The next checklist is the before landing check. Passenger signs on the reversers. We might as well do that now. No reason not to. Landing gear lever obviously down. We're not going to worry about that. We're landing at flaps 40 today as well. But what we should do is set our V-speeds in, which we've not done. So V-speeds, landing, set landing altitude, set the V-speeds. VREF 134, so V approach 141. Back to the checklist here. V-speeds are now set. Managing a good speed here, a little bit low, a little bit slow on the rate of descent, so just coming off the gas a bit more. See 1,700 feet per minute, 1,800, 1,009, one about 2,500. But we are about to level off at 6,000 feet. So back on the power. Looking at the EFB, we have a little way to go, so I'm not going to slow down yet. Not really too bothered about dropping the speed at this point. The aircraft does actually slow down very well, especially when you put out drag in the form of gear and flaps beyond 8 degrees. Feeding back in the power, just trying to get that speed to pop back up to around 240.
American 5480, descend and maintain 3,000,
3,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and do all that now. So 3,000. Get rid of this. Drop this down to 3,000. Once again, going to speed hold. This time we will slow down. 3,000. We want 210. I need to acknowledge that instruction as soon as I possibly can as well. We're good. We're actually clear for the ILS. Alright, so we'll contact the tower. 330. Watching that speed come down towards 310. Lots to do. Getting a little bit behind myself here. There, speed is set. As that speed drops down, we'll put out the first stage of flaps. Looking for the ILS movement now. We don't have a glide slope up, so we're not currently intercepting. Looking at the EFB, we're getting pretty close. See this? It's basically putting us direct now to Hayden, ready for land. Speed's coming down nicely. First stage of flaps can go out now. There we go. Flaps 1. There's the overspeed tape. We'll drop the speed down a little bit more once we get closer. I am fully idle on the throttles. Let's see what we can do at this point about lowering that speed just a touch more to 200. Let's see if we can go to the next stage of flaps. According to the speed tape, we should be able to. There. Going out to flaps 8. Speed's coming down. Looking for the needles to start moving now, which point we can engage nav. Because we are in localizer 1 as a navigation source. There's the glide slope. We're under the glide slope, which is great. Need to put my feet on the rudder pedals ready. Okay, leveling off at 3000. So feeding back in the power now to hold 200. That's good. Let's see what we can do now with this speed. Drop it down to 180. Needle's still not moving, coming off the power. Looking at that magenta bar to go downwards, indicating we're slowing down. There it goes. Whoops, bit of turbulence there. Needles are still not moving. Feeding back in the power so we don't drop under 180. Needles are moving. Nav. Let the aircraft take over. Put us on the localizer. More power. Don't slow too much. There we go. Turning onto the localizer now. Bit of stutters there from prepared. Yes, even I have stutters. And there's the runways. 36 right is on the right hand side, obviously. So at this point, waiting to intercept the glide slope. More power, bring the speed back up. Glide slope alive, it started moving. Less power. A lot less power. We're about to intercept the glide slope, so approach mode. Next stage of flaps, gear down. And we'll bring the speed down now to the approach speed, 141. There. Let that speed drop. First gear is down. All 3 gears are down in green. 20 flaps. Let the speed come down. We are in approach mode. Everything is good. Let's check the checklists. Yes, everything is good here. Passenger signs are on, thrust reversers are on, landing gear is down, slats and flaps are set and indicating 20. There's the speed we're looking for. More power. Just so we don't massively go under that 141. And here comes the glide slope now. Now because it's add-on scenery, it doesn't stand out in the terrain as well as default scenery does. So it's a bit hard to see, but it is actually right there. That's the runway that we're landing on. Watching that speed, which is climbing, so coming off the power now. We are on the glide slope. We're only a couple of miles away. So landing flaps can go out now. Watch the speed. A little bit bouncy. Gonna leave it in the autopilot mode it's currently in. I'm not going to take over just yet. I want to get a stable approach Which the last time I did this, I did not get. Oh, climb thrust is not a good idea. Coming off the power, off the power. Just want to stabilize this aircraft as much as I can. Try to get the throttles set for a good, stable approach before I take control. Let the autoflight systems minimize my workload. Speed is climbing. Gently coming off the gas. We are full flaps, gear down, 3 green. And we're good. Ooh, lots of turbulence. Bumpy approach. You can see the speed tape bouncing wildly up and down here. A lot of turbulence. And it's not a breezy day, it's just it's a hot day. So flying around here, you're going to get a lot of turbulence as you fly over the different ground textures like trees and roads and stuff like that. Let's tune Memphis Tower. Should have done that a little while ago. They're going to clear us to land, I hope. Oh, more power. Speed dropped wildly. We're clear to land.
American 5480, cleared to land. Runway 36 right. Cleared to land. Runway 36
We're good.
right.
Alright, let me take control. It's not going to be a very stable approach. I'm still struggling with landing this. This aircraft is not easy to land. Not easy to stabilize on the approach. There's so much turbulence here as well. You can see the glide path indicator jumping wildly, so I am somewhat going to ignore the warnings that I hear saying glide slope, pull up, pull up. Watching my rate of descent, I'm watching my speed, managing everything there more than I am looking at the glide path right now. Oh my goodness, a little bit too fast. Easing up on the power here. We are descending a little too fast. I hear 3 reds, 3 whites, 1 red.
Approaching. 3,
a little too high.
6, right.
Gonna start getting the warnings from FS to Cruise RAS now telling me unstable. There are 2 reds, 2 whites. We're good. Just feed in some power. Try to stabilize this.
500.
500. Oh, a little too high. 400.
300.
Landing. 2 reds, 2 whites. Sync rate, sync rate. That's fine. We're gonna flare and put some power in here. Yes.
100. Light slow.
I know. Alright, coming off the power now. Might be a long landing. Not unusual.
30. 20. 10.
Not bad. And we're down. No need to use reversers. Going to go all the way to the end of the runway here. Because that's an easier taxi for where we need to go next. It's pretty much the next taxiway.
Feet remaining.
Not that one. The next one.
3,000
Alright, slowing down
feet
now.
remaining.
80 knots. 60 knots. Little squirrely.
2,000 feet remaining.
Alright, high speed exit here, so we'll take it. Which we just did. Oof. Let's look up here. Turn taxi lights on. Strobes off. Landing lights off. Flaps up. 121.0. So let's contact ground. Once we cross this line, request taxi to the gate.
Memphis ground, American 5480. Request taxi to the gate. American 5480. Taxi to gate Bravo 39.
Bravo 39.
Sierra 4 Kilo Juliet Alpha Papa Romeo Oscar November Alpha Papa Romeo Oscar
Wow. That taxi route. Acknowledged. Okay, so let's bring up GSX. Bravo 39. Select the parking facility. Next, 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 and next, and next, and next, and there it is. Gate Bravo, and we want 39. We'll just hang out here until I can dial this up. Bravo 39, there it is. And yeah, I want a follow me truck. We'll follow the follow me truck from American Airlines, please. We'll sit here and wait about a minute for the follow me truck to arrive and then follow it in to Bravo 39. That's pretty much the end of this video. First ever fully loaded and prepared version 4 using the Aerosoft CRJ 700, which is a lot of fun. Not quite study level, absolutely not simple to fly, and a huge challenge, especially on approach and managing flight profiles without an auto throttle. Well worth checking out, highly recommended. As always, my name is Frugal. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you all very soon.